Hi, I'm Carol Ann Blank, and I'm going to talk with you about music in teletherapy with preschoolers. And I'm hopefully going to give you some ideas for maintaining attention and meeting goals. So, teletherapy all of a sudden, for many of us, looked like this. We missed our things, all the things that we have around us that gives us the ability to quickly maneuver and change and provide all of the wonderful tools that we needed. And as a music therapist, this is very similar to what I've looked at for the last year and a half. And I've learned some things that I think might be able to be helpful to a lot of you. Teletherapy can be effective because, well, before I get to there, I should also say that I work for Music Together Worldwide. I'm a music therapist, and I offer the materials provided through the Music Together Within Therapy trademark license. So I use the Music Together songs, but many of the things that I've learned are easily transferable to the work that you do. So one of the things that I've noticed is that teletherapy allowed for greater collaboration between adults because there had to be an adult on the other side of the screen. When we reviewed intervention design with a focus on facilitating adult and caregiver participation, I realized I was probably doing more than I needed to, and I started relying more heavily on the adult caregiver with actually some good benefit. Then there are elements of music that support expressive, receptive communication, transition, gross and fine motor development. And these elements of music are melody, harmony, rhythm, and beat. Those are the ones that we're going to focus on today: melody, harmony, rhythm, and beat. So teletherapy actually ended up looking like this for me for most of the pandemic. Me, my guitar, instruments, an adult off the screen. She could still see me, and she would peek in and assist the young girl that I was working with. So why add music? Why add music to an intervention that you're designing? And specifically because music activates the whole brain at the same time. It's the only non-pharmacological stimulus that does that. And when we're trying to develop skills in children for whom skills development is a thing, we're trying to help them function in the world in more comfortable and easier ways, then activating the brain to stimulate those connections is really helpful. Music is also relationship supporting. When we do back and forth things, sing songs together, we support relationships. When you sing or when you move and play, it supports deeper respiration. Also important for then vocal production, for voice production, if that's a part of the work that you're doing. Music making also supports a child's natural inclination to play. It's motivating. And it's an aesthetic experience that we are all entitled to in our lives. Music making, particularly rhythm and beat, regulates motor responses and encourages participation. So taken together, why not music? However, there are so many songs and so little time. How do you pick the right things? I'd like to make some suggestions. The recording actually matters. If you have multiple singers versus a solo singer, or solo singers that switch, so it might be one person singing, then another person singing, then another person singing, this actually matters. For children with auditory processing concerns, having too many layered singers can be distracting, and perhaps you might consider, if you experiment a little, one singer at a time, or balancing multiple singers at the same time with one singer at a time. Is this singable? Are the songs singable by both adults and children? If we are really trying to encourage active music making, then the songs need to be pitched in their register. So, like, balancing novelty and predictability. Is there something that they can always come back to that is always interesting and the same all the time? And are there interesting and new things that happen within the song or the way you approach the song that make it fun? Then we have opportunity for substituting lyrics. If you change the lyric, does the song have more life? Also, if you change the lyric, are you also then further addressing the concern that you are, your goal for the session? Can you find a steady beat? It doesn't always mean that the steady beat is in duple meter 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if the steady beat is in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it may be that the steady beat is a combination of 2 and 3 or something like that, but there has to be a steady beat. And then harmony is the song, the combination of notes does it allow for tonalities of different cultures? It's important to be able to offer lots of different tonalities to children in order to give them more food for their ears to kind of chew on. So I'm going to share a song with you that might be helpful. It's called, Riding in the Car. Now it does have a storybook to go along with it, and it's also streamable from the Hello Everybody app. And it's free. It's one of 8 free songs that you can see might be useful for your purposes. And this song goes like this. All right, everybody, buckle up. Get your harness on. Click, click, click. Ready. Beep, 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 beep. Ready. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, riding in the car, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, zoom, zoom, riding in the car, we're going out today. Turn, turn, turning in the car, hold on, hold on, hold on, we're talking about positioning here. Turn, turn, turning in the car, you better hold on today. You might repeat this multiple times. Turn, turn, turn in the car. Quicker position. Turning, 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 change again. Turn, turn, turning in the car. You better hold on today. For some children where positioning and strength training, this could be one way to approach the song. But there are so many ways. Sometimes we're looking at fast or slow. So doing verses quick, quick, quick in the car, we're in a hurry, quick, quick, quick in the car, we're in a hurry today. Stop! Wait, wait, waiting in the car. Go! And then now we're looking at freezing and stopping, resisting the urge to move and move. So there's lots of different ways to approach the song, but then we also have to end it aesthetically. Home, home, home in the car. Home, home, home in the car. We're going home today. So this is one way to think about using a song that could help you to address some of the things that you're working on. Now, if mom or dad or the adult caregiver is with your client, since the client is so young, you have the opportunity to have them on their lap for additional proprioceptive input or positioning changes. They can be face to face and work that way where they're doing what you would be doing, but I would then suggest, okay, Mom, if you're here and we're going to pat at the same time. So we're looking at patting, so supporting the child in that kind of experience if that's the thing that's important in the work that you're doing. And when you're choosing songs and for a music-based intervention, it's really layered. You're really thinking about it. It's kind of like an onion shape. The song should be easy to learn quickly because you want to engage not just the child but the adult too. Then you really are starting to think about the approach to songs, how to start it, if this is going to be a jumping up and down song, a large movement song, or if this is something that needs to be done seated, then what is the level of musical complexity? Am I just going to sing it? Am I going to have the recording play? And am I going to start by singing it, then add the recording, and then go back to singing at the end? You've got lots of choices here. The reason you're doing this is that you're trying to maintain a level of interest for the child and the parent. Recordings of songs can be 2.5 to 3 minutes long. That might not be long enough for the child that you're working with, especially in teletherapy, to actually perceive the song and formulate a response to it and then express what their response is. So, repeating songs multiple times and looking for those small changes to engagement, like increased visual referencing, postural changes, breathing changes, and voluntary or involuntary movements of the arms or the eyes brightening or their face, can give you a sense of what the child's level of engagement. Of course, you can also ask the person who is with them. So what do you think? Should we continue with this song and try another couple of times? How about we try it this way? And that also is important. How to close the experience. And we're done. Or do you fade it out? Or how do you do it? You end with a flourish or very quietly? The whole point of this experience is to empower families, to help them feel comfortable, perhaps making music outside of the session. Every parent needs some more tools for getting through their parenting responsibilities through the day. So here, one of the things that we do in teletherapy is try to provide resources that go home. Now, sometimes I have thrown up things like this on the screen and the child will touch the screen and the adult then says, "Oh, the ice cream van! We're going to sing about the ice cream van. Ice cream van, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, ice cream van, let's get the ice cream today." So, if choice making is a thing, or some people may send home a resource that looks like this on a laminated sheet that then they can use right here. The benefit of that is they can then practice pointing or choosing outside of the time that you are with them. So the adults that we are working with are partners in treatment in much more in teletherapy than I think we really ever needed to engage before. And it's always good to have thought about the adults as partners in treatment, but I think when we really consider that, if you look at these next bullets on the next two slides, this might give you some ways into developing that relationship that you can take back into in-person therapy, but definitely can be important in teletherapy. So check in and learn what's new and fun in the family life. I learned that a family went to the zoo the day before, and then we used all the animals they saw in the zoo as the basis for choice-making and movement experiences that we did in therapy that day. Include them in session rituals. If you have a ritual high five to start your sessions or to end your sessions, then high five the parent, have the parent high five the child, have the child high five the parent, and high five the screen. So everybody is having a part of the experience. ask them for their suggestions for expanding intervention ideas, especially since our youngest clients may have idiosyncratic ways of making their choices known. We need adults there in the room to interpret for us. And adults may know that the child may need additional attention paid to a specific movement or a sound, and so capitalizing on their expert knowledge can add to your intervention ideas. So one child I worked with presented with contracted arms more so than usual, and when I asked the caregiver what had been working to help the child have more freedom of movement, I learned that the child had been experiencing abdominal pain. So I switched my focus from large movement, oh yes, let's do this, that's really uncomfortable, to more proprioceptive and calming input to address the child's heightened sensory experience. So really, parents or the adult caregivers can really help guide the in-the-moment choices that you make. So one thing that is helpful is to then describe the goal. This is what I'm shooting for. This is what I'm hoping to see, and allow them to figure out how to support the child to make that happen. So I use very direct language. The goal of this experience is to help Sarah find her voice. It doesn't matter what sound she makes, just so that she makes her own sound. So I'm going to stop singing the song and wait for her response. And that might mean doing it like this. I'll just use the same song I used before. Zoom, zoom, riding in the car. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Zoom, zoom, riding in the car. We're going out. And I'm waiting for Sarah to see if she'll finish the phrase. And sometimes Sarah might be very quiet, so that's why I need the adult in the room to help me know whether or not Sarah has come anywhere near or has created another sound that we can then add to our work. So, and then asking the adult, do you have any strategies for prompting Sarah to use her voice? Some, use physical touch or a pat on the back, providing some beat feedback during the song to kind of stimulate the child's interest and curiosity. But this has a flip side to it, right? Sometimes the directive might be, I'm going to stop singing the song and wait for her response. Help me by resisting the urge to prompt her. This depends on where you are in your therapy process, because I'm curious to see what Sarah does when she's not prompted. And then if you have clearly communicated this all along, the adult will then begin to start seeing you scaffolding the goals and the interventions. And that's really exciting because when the parent or when the adult and the therapist are working in conjunction, it just makes things go very awesome and fast. So ask their opinion. This is the last bullet. Ask their opinion and make changes accordingly. And sometimes it's hard to know what the child's energy level is at the moment. Ask, do you think it's time to shift gears to do something quieter? I'm getting the sense that Michael might need to, or I'm getting the sense that Michael might need to move. Shall we take a movement break? And that's what happened in this picture. This little guy needed a movement break, and so I then had a movement break along with him. And it gave us a sense of being together in the same space. He got his movement out, and we were able to move into the next experience. So if you're going to implement some music-based experiences in your treatment sessions as ways to kind of address things or address what you're working on in a slate or big selection of offerings that you do, it's important to continue to support music making at home. Whatever you're doing in therapy, the parent needs to feel comfortable and confident being able to do it outside therapy as part of their home program. So the support starts during the session. Okay, Mom, you understand where this song is? Or, hey, Dad, I'm going to throw in the chat the link to where I found this song so that you can sing it at home. There also, if you use songs, provide the resource for the song, not just the YouTube chat, but maybe the recording too. Knowledge they can use. This song, we did it this way for this important skill that he's developing. And you can do this too because we just did it here. This boosts their confidence. I like what you're doing here, adult caregiver, with supporting their arm. I think this is really helpful in terms of whatever. And then, you know, their confidence is increasing. And perhaps when you do this next time, if you fade your support and see what the child does, then we'll know where they are in their learning process. So you're providing them the support, you're giving them the confidence, and then you're also telling them what the next step might be should they choose to. And this all goes into a home program. The things that worked and the things that didn't work, listen to that the next time you see them, so that you can make adjustments to what you do and give them another way to approach the work that you are offering them. So this is something that Music Together has created for our songs. We provide parents with the opportunity to learn more about how to use a particular song for transition support, for expressive language, gross motor and fine motor support, and then some additional notes specific to the child. And then as a clinician, I could then send, not necessarily hand at this point in teletherapy, but send them via email some information that they can use in and around their family life to help support their child's development. So, in summary, music supports children's development in lots of different ways. Intentional uses of music can add to most therapist intervention options, particularly if you're a speech therapist or an OT, or for our younger ones, preschool, an early interventionist. Teletherapy effectiveness is impacted by the strength of the relationship between the adults. And I think researchers are going to unpack this for a really long time. But when adults are working together, we know this from pre-teletherapy experiences, when adults are working in conjunction, the therapy goes more efficiently and faster. And also, when we share knowledge and acknowledge the parent's expertise or the adult caregiver's expertise, you strengthen the therapist, parent, and adult alliance. And that is only supportive of the child's concerns and development. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great week.